Hello. So I just kind of want to do a video about specialization. I've mentioned this a couple of times before in my Titan and Hero specialization village videos, and really, I just kind of want to bring this up again because of really like, are you a specialist? Like, where you talk about this game, like the number one skill in this game is resource management, and part of resource management is actually the need to be focused, right? It's like you can either be like I said, you can spend a lot of resources to level up both Titans and Heroes, but it costs a lot of resources. I mean, especially if you have to spend emeralds and gold and stuff, like, right, to try to do both will cost a lot. So one strategy I recommend, that this is probably the most efficient way to be a productive member of a guild, is to focus on one. Like, don't go, like I said, it's great to have like max out heroes and titans, but not everyone in a competitive guild necessarily needs that. Like, you can be a strong hero team and have, like I said, you're not really focused on titans, just kind of let them build up over time. Right, 2 years on a server, not a lot of focus on titans. Titans, like I said, they're okay. They're not gonna, like I said, they're not gonna give him Titan fights very often because his Titans aren't gonna get wins. But his hero teams, I can usually find a team or two that can get some wins. Right, and the opposites, you might have some people who are like Titan specialists, like this Titan team. Like I said, I can find some picks for that. Her hero team's pretty much not gonna help. But like I said, so that's kind of like the point of being a specialist. Like, you're gonna be. It's kind of like it's better to have one good team than two mediocre teams, right? And if you have, say, like a 800k hero team or an 800k Titan team, like if you have an 800k Titan team, like, I really don't care what your heroes are. Like, if your heroes are 100k or even 50k, like, it really doesn't matter. I mean, let's be honest. Anything over like anything under 700k, honestly, is not going to get wins very often in an advanced league like this, where everybody has 800k teams. Like, there's just not a lot of opportunities to find them wins. So the difference between a 100k team or a 700k team, not that it's kind of negligible once you get to a certain level. So it's just better to focus on having one good team than handing but two teams that are mediocre, like I said. So it's like you can either be like a time specialist, like, and really just kind of spend a lot of your resources here trying to get some artifacts for your titans, try to get some totems, right? And then, like I said, or you could be a hero specialist where you don't spend a lot of stuff on your titans. You just try to focus on like I said, generally you focus on one hero at a time, like, and then also focus on pets. Like, when I starting out, I pretty much put all my resources on Aurora, like, and then followed by Celeste. Like, there was a time, like, when I had Aurora and Celeste, they were both red +1, maxed out in everything else but equipment. And then I had my Lars and Krista, they were both less than 50k power, and Sebastian was 37k power, whereas Aurora and Celeste were 10k power each. Right, nice to getting a lot of wins, even though I was very narrowly invested in just two heroes, because I understood, like, I didn't have a lot of money, didn't have a lot of resources, so I just kind of kept, made my focus on just Aurora and Celeste, and like Kane is the pet at that point. This was before Axel was a pet, or Biscuit. There was just 6 pets then, so I just kind of focused on Aurora and Celeste. And when pets came to Pit, focused on Kane as the pet, and just kind of had a very narrow focus and was getting a lot of wins that way. And like I said, that is a key to success. Just figure out, like I said, which hero you need. Like I said, Aurora and Celeste is pretty good. Like, I always, like I said, if you have those two heroes, like, you can usually do pretty well. Sebastian, like I said, I do think the third best hero, like, for like a team like that. Like I said, high levels, he's probably more important on the high levels, but like even on low levels, he's pretty good in campaign. Like, and you can get by with like lesser investment on him, or like until later. Like, you can put off some of that. I mean, especially if like you're like a magic team, you can probably skip his artifact weapon till much later. But it's just stuff like that. It's, like I said, it's about being focused. Yeah, and just like I said, do the dungeon every day, whether your titans are good or not. Like I said, the dungeon partially is based on your titan, on your level, right? So like if you're, like I said, so it's like you should just try to do as much as you can, because you do get gold and stuff. And after you get so far, like after you get your Titan's Absolute Star, you do unlock this version where you can buy gold, or you can buy Titan Push, but you can also buy Sparks of Power for your heroes. So this actually ends up being a good way to develop either Titans or heroes. Like, really just like getting your Titan's Absolute Star, and then you just kind of do your daily Titan stuff. Like, you still want to do your dailies for both. Like, don't want to pass up free resources if you can avoid it. Like, just try to get all the freebies, but Very sad, but for the most part, though, just focus all your resources into either one or the other rather than trying to spread your resources thinner. It's kind of like same thing with Grand Arena. Don't worry too much about building like a bunch of different Grand Arena teams, right? It's like whatever. I still have a couple of purple heroes in here. I mean, might slowly over time I've been able to build some teams, but I have the twins here, have Arachnemaya here. These teams are just like I said. And this one's kind of jumping. They can sometimes get a win. Ju and Thea can do it, but then it's like I have these other heroes that are just kind of there to fill space. Yeah, I'm currently ranked 7th in the Grand Arena, and that's because you can just, right, like I said, it's just the same thing. It's just, right, if you have one good team, you can split it into two, like originally had, right, my twins, the Trinity twins, so I put the twins in a separate team from Aurora, Sebastian, Celeste, and then I was kind of working on Arachnemaya. Like, for a long time, these heroes were a lot weaker. You know, they've kind of become my 6th and 7th heroes, right, and then I have Ju and Thea kind of as a team, right, but again, they're just kind of weaker and just, you know, just kind of understanding like where your focus is. Like, you know, it's like I just more like think it's just better to focus on arena. Like on when the ranking happens, when you get your reward, daily reward, it's whichever one you're ranked higher in. Yes, you get more coins per hour if you're ranked higher in the Grand Arena, but it takes a lot more investment to compete in the Grand Arena. So I wouldn't worry so much about the Grand Arena. Just worry about having a good arena team, which can also be your good Guild War team. Like said, like once you get more advanced, you can actually start changing, like having your Guild War team be slightly different than your arena team. Like, you know, maybe I'll use Kane as my defensive pet in arena, but use Axel as my pet in Guild War or whatever. You want to have some slight changes so they can't just like test against your team, right? So it is good to have a slightly different one if you can. But if you don't have that yet, if you're not at a point where you have other pets developed or you don't have different heroes developed to fill different teams, don't worry about that. Like, you know, for the longest time, I had identical teams in both Guild War and arena defense because I didn't have the other teams. I didn't have other things I could put in there, right? Like I said, so it's just really about being focused and right, stuff like this. Like if you have resources, like, you know, I've played 2 years, I have a lot of stuff accumulated, but don't be in a hurry to use stuff like until you need it or you know where you want to do what you want to do with it. Like have a plan for all your resources, like all these soul themes. Right, like I said, we have Spooky Fest coming up about a week and a half. Right, you can claim these to for the souls progress, like all this stuff right here. You'll have quests like this one, get 50 soul stones of a hero. Like you can claim all those kinds of boxes during those kind of events and you'll get progress for these kind of quests, right? Like I said, you'll need to collect 1,000 for Spooky Fest to get all the items. Like I said, these ones are pretty cheap. The gold ones I buy every day, but you can sometimes find stuff you need through here, right? Like I said, I actually need the Hand of Glory. That's something I need. Throwing knives, right? And you can just, like I said, if you have coins, like don't spend all your coins willy-nilly, like, right? You can also buy hero souls through these for those quests, or if there's like a hero you're working on, like let's say you want to work on Maya, so you want to start spending some arena coins on Maya souls, right? Like I said, you could do that. And again, like if you do only, like I said, if you're not getting a lot of arena coins, maybe you only want to do this buy the Maya souls during weekends when you get the credit for it. That way you can save arena coins during the week, and then you could do this 3 times. You could get 15 souls of Maya a week, right? Stuff like that to maximize your reward, right? Like I said, generally you don't want to do any major spending of your emeralds except during the weekends when there's special events. You don't want to do any major buying of emeralds except like when there's a 4x. If you're a new player, like you don't have a high VIP yet or whatever, you know, buying some of these bundled things that appear aren't too bad. Like these ones, 150 souls, 5,000 emeralds. These are a pretty good deal. And again, buying these bundles count for the soul quests. These are only like $15. That's like the 150 souls will count towards collecting 150 souls. So again, you can actually get some extra rewards for this. Well, this will count as buying emeralds for the emerald waterfall, so you can get those energy potions, right? So, or the ones, like I said, sometimes like a big event will sometimes have buy emerald requirements where you can get more emeralds for buying emeralds. These will count towards that as well. So these bundles, again, $15 isn't bad, like especially if you have a low VIP score and you don't have, and you're still trying to get souls for some of these heroes. Like if you wanted Yasmin souls, this might be a good bundle to buy because it's 150 Yasmin souls, and you could buy it during an event when you're trying to collect souls, etc. This is a way to, again, kind of make the most of your resources. And again, just kind of figure out what you want to be focused, like I said, specialize, right? Figure out what your guild needs. Does your guild need more strong hero teams, or does it need more strong Titan teams? And then specialize accordingly. Be a Titan specialist if your guild's lacking Titan teams, right? So Titans, in a lot of ways, Titans are more important than guilds than heroes and guilds, just because the bridge is the major choke point, but the citadel is also behind the Titans, right? And the least important buildings are these three. Like, the only unimportant Titan building is a Spreen, right? So there's like 9 hero teams that are kind of locked behind an important, or 6, I guess, if you're in a lower league. But there's only 3 Titan teams that are locked, 3 or 4 Titan teams that are behind an important building. So keep that in mind. There's twice as many hero teams that will be on the defense. They'll be, quote, low valued targets. So, having more Titans is not a bad thing for a guild, especially like, if your guild can't break a bridge, I mean, your guild will get stuck below 300 points in that war. So being able to crack a bridge is super important. Like, right, so you do need to have strong enough teams to break the other opposing bridge. Like, so if your guild doesn't have that yet, you could provide a lot of value to the guild just by having strong Titans. Even if your heroes are complete garbage and you have like almost no investment in them, right? It's like I said, just having strong Titans could make a huge difference for your guild. Anyway, I hope you guys found this video informative. Thank you for watching.